Good morning, everyone. I am so thrilled to introduce Zach Klaiman. Um, he is the founder of Z-Tech, and he works with exactly this group all the time. He is a pro as a tech tutor, essentially, helping folks who feel intimidated by technology learn how to use it and get the most out of it. And we are so lucky to have him local. So if you ever need a one-on-one, you can reach
Try
out
to
to
move it, but I can't
him.
see. Oh, look.
And there we go. Okay. Um, and we are really lucky to get to learn with him today. I'm going to ask before I hand this over to him that if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in a private chat to me. You can put them just in a direct chat to me, and I will then use those questions to start our Q&A. If you all don't mind muting yourselves, I'm doing my best to mute, but keep yourselves muted during Zach's presentation, um, so that we can all make sure we hear him clearly. And then when we open it up to the Q&A, you can unmute to ask a question. So Zach, please take it away and thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Cantor. And thank you to Ira as well. I don't see uh, which square you are, but thank you guys. It's truly a pleasure to be here. Um, I don't know if I grew up in the congregation, so it is always so great to come back and to hang out with you guys. I also live around the corner from Macomb Street, so I walk by with my dog every single day. Um, and I actually just got married with Rabbi Shankman from the congregation who did my wedding a few months ago as well. So that's full circle, full circle. Thank you. So I'm so excited to be here. We're going to be talking about AI today. As we just mentioned, it would be great if everybody can stay muted throughout the presentation. That doesn't mean I don't want. I would love for people to kind of be giving me thumbs up and thumbs down throughout. I'm going to be kind of asking like and that's if you want to have your camera on. You don't have to have your camera on. It's totally okay if you just want to listen. For people who have their camera on, it'd be helpful for me to give some thumbs up and thumbs down. Just as I go through the presentation, I'll be asking some questions just to get an idea of like what some people are familiar with, what some people aren't, just so, it just helps throughout so that it also keeps everybody engaged without asking like, questions throughout. Afterwards, I'm happy to answer any questions. I can stay after. There's no problem. I'm happy to do it. Just please send any in the chat. I think everybody is familiar with how to use that, and we'll get to it all. Promise. It'd be great. So with that, I think we can jump right into it. So I'm going to share my screen here, and you guys should now be seeing a presentation that says, and can I get a couple thumbs up just so everyone can see it? We're all good? Perfect. Thank you, guys. I'm just switching it over here so I can also see everybody at the same time. Give me just 1 second. I want to see everybody's face. All right, two screens up. Okay.
Zach, at the moment, I am just seeing your background screen and not the presentation.
Oh, okay. How about, is everybody seeing it now? Can you see the presentation or is it just me?
I see some
Uh,
pink
Just
dots.
the picture.
you
It's a
see a
The
pic,
photo.
background screen. Only the
you see the
background
back.
screen
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give me one
with all the
sec.
blobs on it.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. Let me see, make sure. How about that? Is that better?
No. Yep.
No.
Now we got it.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yes. AI made
Okay.
simple.
AI made simple. Here we go. There we go, guys. Thank you. Sorry about that. See everybody's got tech stuff. Everybody's got tech issues. It happens to everybody. Okay, guys, so AI made simple. Learn, explore, and enjoy AI. No tech skills needed. This is like how often do we see this every day in the news, in articles? We read about it every day. It's the hottest topic, right? So this is what I wanted to just bring this to all of my clients and to people that I work with because I just think it's so relevant and so important, even just to have the most basic understanding of just what it is and what it is that we're working with, I think is just really crucial. Before we get started, I just want to go over a couple goals. It's helpful for me and everybody to stay organized throughout this presentation. So goal number one, I just want everyone to feel as though they have an understanding of the basics through after this presentation of just kind of what AI is and where we can use it, and generally speaking, kind of like how it helps people on a day-to-day basis. By no means do I think that everybody is going to be like a master at using AI by the end of this presentation, but I hope that you will leave with some confidence that you at least kind of understand what it is. And if you wanted to ask it some basic questions or use it on your own device, you feel confident that you could do it with some simple stuff. I think that it's, after this presentation, I want to kind of take away some of the intimidation factor that a lot of us do feel with AI and artificial intelligence. And then number three, which is just so important, is how to use it safely and effectively, right? We always hear about all these scams and all this like all these phishing attempts, and I'm sure we're all very used to getting all of these emails and stuff all day, text messages, all that stuff, right? And a lot of it these days can be kind of tailored to AI focused things. And so I wanted to just spend some time in the presentation to feel as though making sure people leave feeling though that they know how to use it safely and they have the right sources to be using the right AI tools. We're going to be doing I'm going to be doing a live demonstration towards the end of this of how to use some of the AI tools as well, after we kind of go over some of the basics. Does it sound good? All right, let's go into it. Okay, so what is AI? We know it stands for artificial intelligence, right? But what actually is it? Is it a robot, like in iRobot, plotting to take over the world? No, it's not. It seems like that a lot of the time, but it's not. Artificial intelligence is a program. It is a piece of software on our devices. Another one that we use a lot is Zoom. We're on that right now, right? It's just a program that we install in our devices and that we use. Another one that we commonly use, Microsoft Word. How many people here use that? Right. We all use Microsoft Word, right? Everybody here uses it. It's one of those little icons on the bottom of your screen. Artificial intelligence is no different. It's just a program. Now, it's a very special kind of program. It's a very advanced program. Um, what it's used for is helping people learn, helping people write, problem solving, organizing. But the way that we like to define it, AI allows computers to complete tasks that we would normally think would require human intelligence. Okay, I'll say that again. AI allows computers to complete tasks that would normally require human intelligence, or that we would think would require human intelligence. And we categorize that into speech and photo recognition. That's kind of like where it really excels. But a really important distinction that I want to make for everybody is that AI it doesn't think. It's not thinking for itself like how people do. It's a very big misconception about it because it's not thinking and plotting. What AI does is it learns. AI takes in data. We give it data. We ask it questions. We input stuff into it. It processes that data and recognizes patterns and makes suggestions off of those patterns. But it's not thinking for itself. So it is simply just recognizing patterns and data and continuing to go off that, and it gets better and better and better the more you use it. But I think it's a very important distinction to make because it means that, we think that it's kind of just always thinking for itself and, thinking of all these things that it wants to do for us. But it's not. There are more advanced AI tools that can have more of that feature, but that's not what we use on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so generally speaking, this is like a very kind of bird's eye view of what AI is generally. It's a program on our devices that help make our devices smarter and allow us to do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do. Right? So, what can it help us with? We're going to go into some more specifics in a little bit, but here are generally some of the most common things that people use artificial intelligence to help them with on a day-to-day basis. So writing assistants, by far one of the biggest ones, right? Some people, for whatever, for a wide variety of reasons, whether it's they aren't familiar with typing, they don't like typing, they may have issues with their hands that prevent them from being able to type efficiently, right? For whatever reason, for me, example, I think it makes me sound smarter. So I love it when it helps me write my emails, right? So helping people write emails, starting documents, even just brainstorming certain ideas to start a document is another way that, or to start anything is something that people really use AI for. Learning new skills is a huge piece. People have learned new languages, learning how to paint, how to draw, all sorts of new amazing skills by just asking it how to do it. One of the best things about it is it's free and there's no scheduled classes. You can go and do it whenever you want to at your own time, right? There's nothing that you don't need to go and schedule and leave your house to go do it. Everything you can do is right there. You can learn a new language. People have learned it's truly amazing. I've learned a couple new things throughout this, including recipes. I've learned all sorts of recipes and learning how to go through them while using AI, and that's been one of my favorite pieces of it so far. Coding help is not as relevant to this group here, but I just wanted to put it on there because one of its most common uses in general is helping people who make computers and AI. It makes their life so much easier because it can do all of the math and all of that stuff much, much, much faster. And when I talk about personal productivity, I just mean day-to-day stuff that AI can help reduce time and reduce energy and just make certain things easier. And we're going to go into more of those specifics when we go into the live demonstrations here in a bit. All right. So what are the different types or the different programs we use for AI, right? We hear about all different kinds, right? Smack dab in the middle of the screen, you see the most common one that we hear about, right? Or can I get a thumbs up if generally speaking, ChatGPT is what we hear about the most?
Yeah.
More or less. Okay. ChatGPT is made by OpenAI. That's the company that makes it, and they are by far the leaders in this field. I would say NVIDIA, you guys familiar with NVIDIA? They're also up there, but they don't really have their own AI bot necessarily or tool available to the public for just like regular use. So OpenAI makes ChatGPT, and they are by far the leaders in this and really, really are the most commonly used platform for everyday users. And that's the one that we're going to be talking the most about today. But I wanted to mention these other ones as the most common ones that we see. You may have also seen a couple others, such as Perplexity. That's another one, a common one that some people have been using. Gemini on the left. How many people have seen Gemini before? You get a hand raise. Yeah. So I'll actually, if someone wants to raise their hand and unmute for a second, where have you seen Gemini? I'm just curious. If it's totally okay if not. So Gemini is made by Google, right? And when we do a Google search right now, how many people have noticed that when you do a search now, you see an answer that says AI overview? Right. Okay. So that's been a new cool piece about Google, right? Is that they have introduced this AI. Oh, Jeannie, I'm sorry. I see you raising your hand there. I'm sorry. Um, it allows for an AI answer of your Google search. And that's really nice. It's really helpful. It can make your answer way more detailed, right? Instead of just asking, what was the score in the game last night? It'll tell you the standings and, who played well and all sorts, it'll really kind of go into detail and it will kind of give you those details. But That is a built-in AI search tool that's built right into Google. It's not its own separate kind of chat box for you to just have a like kind of a conversation with. They do have that for Gemini. It's its own separate app, but generally where we see this one the most is when we do a Google search, right? It is, and this can be turned off if people don't want it, but generally I think it helps quite a bit. So Gemini is integrated into Google to help make searches easier. Claude, Claude is the one that of these three, it wouldn't surprise me if we haven't really seen too much of Claude. Claude is usually used by developers and people in the tech world to help build more tech, but I just wanted to mention it in case people have seen it before. Chat GPT, this is the big one, right? This is the one that we use all the time. This is the one that I recommend using. This is the one that I feel is the safest and the most reliable. Um, the most common question I get with Chat GPT is it free, right? Or does it cost anything? They have a free version and they have a paid version. The free version will limit you in terms of your inputs, right? You can't go on all day, but you can ask it a decent amount. I don't know the exact. I believe they do it off of just kind of word entry. Um, the paid version is $20 a month, and it gives you unlimited use no matter what on any of your devices. For ChatGPT, it also gives you access to the voice feature, which if the group wants me to demonstrate towards the end, I can do that. It is a pretty unique and amazing tool of ChatGPT. It is getting a little bit more advanced, but we can kind of gauge that as we get towards the end and we start doing the demonstration. Does that sound okay? All right. So where can we put it? Where can I access it? Right? That's a huge question I get all the time, right? Where can I get how do people seem like they have it everywhere, right? So we can use, generally speaking, we can put it on our mobile device and we put it on our computer, right? The mobile device also includes an iPad, okay, or a Surface or a tablet, something like that, right? But there's a big difference when we access, we're talking about ChatGPT here. There's a very big difference when we access it on these different websites or these different devices, I'm sorry. When we're on a mobile app, when we're on a mobile device like an iPhone or a Surface or an iPad, we have to access it through the mobile app, right? How many people have seen the App Store on their device? Right, you all have that. If you have an iPhone, you have like that little. It's right here on the screen. This little blue A. You see my cursor circling this. You have this little blue A. You can download the Chat GPT app or the Gemini app from there, and that's how it's best accessed on the phone because it's made for the mobile devices, and it just works so much better. When we're using it on our computer, it's not an app, it's a website. We have to go to your browser. Can I get a show of hands familiar with that word, browser? So Chrome, Safari, whatever you use, Firefox, whatever you use to get on the internet, you access ChatGPT simply by going to chatgpt.com on your computer through your browser. Meaning it's not going to be an icon on the bottom of the screen unless you make like a shortcut for it, which can be a little tricky sometimes. So again, on the mobile devices, it's an app you download from the App Store. If it's on a computer or on a PC, you have to just go to your browser and go online to the website. So www.chatgpt.com, gemini.com, right? Now, we're going to go into this in a little bit, but it's also very important that we're using and we're going to the proper websites with these, right? Because when we do a Google search, for ChatGPT, you're going to see 15 different links that show up for ChatGPT, right? And a lot of us sometimes go like, which is the right one? So we're going to talk about that and just making sure that we're using the right source. And does that make sense about where we access it on our devices and which device, which device, where to get it? Okay. So how do we talk to it?
So, how are you?
So how do we talk to our devices? How many people have heard the saying the prompts are everything when we're referring to AI, or the prompts are the most important thing? Is that something that people have heard generally? Yeah. It's true. It is true, but I want to go into a little bit more detail about that. And when I say talk, I don't necessarily just mean with your voice. I mean type, like when you're just typing in your input to it as well. A lot of people, we want to avoid giving it personal information unless you want to. It generally speaking, if you're using a trusted source like ChatGPT, it is secure to give it certain personal information, such as your birthday or your age or generally the local city you live in. So I wouldn't give it your social security number, right? But you can give it some personal information because it's going to be able to help you further if you do that. Being clear and specific is so important. Um, if you aren't specific, it's going to give you broad results. Like if you give it a broad question, it's going to give you a broad answer, right? But if you give it specific questions, it's going to give you specific answers. If you break it down into steps, that's even more helpful. And I would say even the most important thing you could do when talking to AI is if it's wrong, which it oftentimes can be, you need to tell it. Otherwise, it doesn't learn. If AI can't, if it doesn't know it's wrong, it doesn't know to correct that and to look up further data, and it will continue to answer the questions in the same way. And so if you correct it, it will learn its mistake and it won't make that again. But it's so important to tell it. And when I show you ChatGPT in a minute, you'll actually see at the bottom that it has a little, in small print, it says ChatGPT can make mistakes. Please double check important information. And if it does make a mistake, you have to tell it it's wrong, or I recommend telling it it's wrong so that it can further to continue to help you better. Okay. So here is an example of a prompt to an AI tool that is generally pretty vague. Okay. This is something more about like maybe you could do with a Google search. Tell me about Paris. Okay. Generally, that is something you could look up on Google, right? Now, I know it says tell me, or you could say like, fun things to do in Paris, right? But it's not going to give you that specific of an answer. It's going to give you a general mix of facts, locations, all sorts of history, things like that. But here's an example of a prompt that would really do well in an AI tool. Give me a 3-day Paris travel itinerary focused on art museums with a budget-friendly food option per day, and maybe some walking directions between locations. Okay, I know that's a little specific, right? But do you see how detailed I got without giving it any personal information about myself or me, or anything at all? But its result, the answer that it's going to give is going to be like a day by day plan of what to do in Paris with amazing art museums, and you can change that. So do you see the difference here and how being specific can just make a world of a difference, right? There are some things that we can ask Google, right? What's the weather? What was the score in the game yesterday, right? That is very kind of like call and response, just question, answer. AI tools are made for more conversational type um, work, right? Even if you're just trying to use it for fun. Okay, I've done a lot of talking. I think we should do some demonstration of some AI of ChatGPT with some prompts that I have prepared that I think would be relevant and fun for everybody. Generally, can I get a hands up if you have used ChatGPT before? Awesome. I love it. Okay. Okay. Can everybody see what's on the agenda today? Kind of a blank screen here with just like an empty chat box.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So for those who have not used ChatGPT before, I know some of you have, but when you open it and you go to chatgpt.com on your browser, you're going to get a screen. Mine's dark, it's easier on my eyes. Some people will have it to be a light background. It'll say, "What can I help you with?" Or it'll say, "What's on the agenda for today?" Right? Just kind of like an open-ended question of hey, I'm here to help. And it has an empty text box here for you to type any of your questions. So the first prompt I'm going to give it is the one that we talked about in the presentation here. I'm going to give me a 3-day Paris travel itinerary. Okay. And we're going to see what it shoots out in terms of like a step by step, because I just want you guys to see how nice and organized it is. So tell me about Paris. Well, actually, I'm going to do is make this a little bigger. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about Paris. And we're going to go. Okay. That's a nice picture. This is a very broad overview of Paris, right? Nothing super specific, just kind of general information about the city, maybe some history, art and culture, famous landmarks, things like that. Okay. Now I'm going to give me a 3-day travel plan for my trip in June to Paris. I want art museum. Oops, forgive my typo. Focus and budget friendly. Ugh, can't type today, guys. Food options. Okay. Everybody see what it's doing?
Mhm.
So it has day 1 in the morning what it wants me to do with the approximate ticket price of the museum that it's recommending and a general time that it recommends to avoid beating crowds, which can be very helpful, right? And it's suggesting what to do for lunch. After that, with directions of how to walk, right? It gets just super specific. And where people have used the AI a lot is with travel, helping them plan travel to save time and to save anxiety of not knowing where things are in a foreign place. You can have an entire itinerary planned out if you ask an AI tool to do it for you. Isn't that pretty cool? Can just be done on day-to-day stuff as well. Day 2, Impressionism Day. Oh, I have been there. It's very amazing. So here's one example. Okay, I'm going to give it another one. I do not have a daughter. This is just an example. Is turning 12 next week. I want to give her the best gift ever. She likes Taylor Swift and K-pop, Demon Hunters on Netflix. She likes outdoor activities as well. Okay. People love using AI tools to help brainstorm. I know this is a generally innocent, or, a very, but this can be very helpful to just start giving people ideas on certain projects, even if it's just as simple as getting somebody a gift, right? If you tell them their age, you tell them some stuff that they like, it's going to do research on the far ends of the internet to try to find the best thing for you. Okay, so let's see what it does with this prompt here. That sounds like a fun mix of interests. Here are some great ideas that combine her loves. A Taylor Swift experience bundle, some merch, a CD, a scrapbook with some lyrics, pictures, and stickers, right? Just these awesome, just kind of great ideas that I have to be honest, I would not have thought of right away, right? Um, I don't know if the outdoor adventure gift, a hiking day trip with a picnic where you choose a specific spot, a bike ride, an ice cream adventure. These are great ideas that just start to get the ball rolling. Even if it's not the exact answer you're looking for, it really can just start help the process, right? I am a very big advocate of using artificial intelligence to help us get to the answer we want quicker, not to necessarily do it for us, right? I don't want artificial intelligence to its voice to be, you know, all telling, right? I think it needs to be used as a way to help us get to our answers quicker. That's my main goal. Here's another prompt. This is going to be with writing assistance. My neighbor, Nancy, watched my dogs and watered my plants while I was away. I want to write her a nice email thanking her. Is this completely necessary? Do you have to use it to write a thank you message? No, you don't. But I tend to like how it words things. I think that it does a really nice job, and I like to make edits afterwards. So here is the message that it just made very quickly about the message to Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Just wanted to take a moment and thank you for watching my dogs and watering my plants while I was away. It gave me such peace of mind knowing everything was being taken care of, and I really appreciate your kindness and help. The dogs were happy and relaxed when I got home, and the plants look great. I can tell you they're wonderful. I can tell you took wonderful care of them. It truly means a lot to me you were willing to step in. If you ever need a hand with anything, please don't hesitate to ask, right? A very nice, well-written, well-worded, organized email that was written in just a split second, just by giving it a little bit of basic information, right? Now, you would have to copy and paste this, right? You would have to then take this and copy it into the email that you would then send. Um, but using AI with writing assistance just to help make quick little notes or to just help it word it in a way that just kind of sounds a little bit better is a very common use. It's used primarily for longer emails, right? Things that you can that need take a little bit more time. Um, but this is also you may have noticed that in some of your email tools, it is suggesting responses. How many people have seen that so far? Like on their, it like is like suggested writing or suggested reply, things like that, right? If you hit those, it will start to generate things like this. But I like to be the one who inputs the information first. I don't want it to just kind of do it by itself. And here's a really cool piece that I want to spend a moment on. It's asking if you want, I can make it shorter, more formal, more heartfelt, more emotional. What this is a follow-up. AI follows up. It wants to continue the conversation. And the best thing that you can do to help it learn is continue the conversation. If we just ask it one question and stop, it becomes much more like Google or an Alexa or Siri, where it's just kind of call and response. But if you follow up and engage with it in this conversation, it's going to give you the answers are just going to be infinitely better and get you to where you're going much faster. I want to give it one more prompt here, and this is one that I work on with a lot of people. How many people have gotten an email that looks oops, sorry, that says, "Hey, you've gotten a credit card charge from Geek Squad for $600." Or you've gotten a PayPal notification that you have $1,000 charge coming up for your PayPal or for your something like that, and you don't even have a PayPal account, right? Like we get those a lot, these scamming attempts, these phishing attempts, right? One thing that I have been making a an effort in encouraging people is in the moment, it can be so scary and frightening when we get things like that, right? We're not sure if it's real. What you can do is you can put in some of the information into ChatGPT or a trusted AI source to help you figure out whether or not this is a scamming or a phishing attempt. I don't know how many, if you are able to take a screenshot, that is always a helpful thing to be able to do, is to take a screenshot and upload it to ChatGPT and say, hey, is this real? But this is an example of something that we can do. I got an email saying my PayPal account was charged $799. I don't recall making an account, and the email looks funny. Is it real? Okay. We are using artificial intelligence to help us determine whether or not something is fake. So let's see, what does it say at the top? It is almost certainly a scam. Okay, that's the first thing it says. If you don't remember making a PayPal account, if it looks funny, if it pressures you to click a link or to call a phone number, right? It's giving you suggested next steps. Do not click on anything. It wants you to check the sender's email address to double check to make sure it's actually coming from PayPal, right? What this can't do is tell you if it's actually 100% real, right? Its word is not certain always, but it can help you make a much more educated decision as to whether or not something is real. So using artificial intelligence or using AI tools to help us determine whether or not something is a phishing attempt or a scam can be very, very useful. Now, I say that knowing that AI generated scams are very common, right? There was a very big one that came up not too long ago with Dr. Sanjay Gupta on CNN. Anybody come across that? So there was a fake video AI generated of Dr. Sanjay Gupta on CNN, introducing a supplement or a pill that was supposed to help with memory loss, right? That was a complete scam and charged people thousands of dollars for that, right? And this is something that can be asked on one of these types of tools because what it can do is it can look up all sorts of reports throughout the internet to see if this is something that other people have been reporting on. You can ask ChatGPT, I got an advertisement with a video from Dr. Sanjay Gupta, asking, selling me a pill. Is this real? Is this something is this an actual thing? And it will go and it will search the ends of the internet to find whether or not there are reports of this happening as a scam elsewhere. And it can give you a very, very good response. So again, its word is not everything. It's not right. We can't trust that it's right about everything, but we can use it to get where we're going faster. I'm going to give you guys one more prompt if that's okay. People oftentimes use AI for medical assistance, which I can't is not the way that we're necessary. I can't recommend that we use it as our doctor, right? It's not a doctor, right? But we can use it to help make better decisions. Meaning, if you get a bite, a spider bite, something like that, and it has a funny rash, can you take a picture of it and say, hey, does this look like a tick bite or does this look like a spider bite? And it will give you its best guess, and it will do all sorts of comparisons as to other, similar things that it sees online. But what it'll always say is, see a doctor. Make sure you go see a professional and you get everything double checked, right? It can be used for these, but it's not to be used as the final word. Here is this icon, this word at the bottom, I'm sorry, this line at the bottom that says Chat GPT can make mistakes. Check important info, right? We don't really want to be using its answers about financial and medical and political stuff. We want to be double checking that stuff elsewhere. Okay. Generally, Do these did anybody have any sort of prompts or anything that they wanted demonstrated on Chat GPT, or were these prompts, did those feel okay? I see Steven raising his hand.
Yes. When you talk about, let me turn down. When you talk about the AI learning from you, is it only in that one conversation? If you come back 2 days later, does it remember what had previous happened?
That's such a good question. Thank you. So, yes, so when you have an account created with Chat GPT, right, when you actually establish an account, right, where you just have to use an email and password, it will keep a record of all of your previous chats with it. And it can refer back to any of those conversations if you ask it to. You can say to it, please refer back to our conversation 2 weeks ago about so and so. I want to continue that conversation. And yes, it will pick up right where you left off. Where you can access that on ChatGPT is on the left side. You will always see a toggle. Does everyone see that on the left here? Where you can bring up your previous conversations with ChatGPT to where you can always go back and access. However, it can also find it for you and just continue the conversation from a new chat. I see. Ellen, are you raising your hand? Okay, it's okay. Um, it's a great question. Yes, it can absolutely remember all of your stuff. Anything else while I'm still in ChatGPT, guys? Yeah, Marjorie.
Why can't you just, which I do, just eliminate, delete, rather than doing all of this other stuff
Say again.
on Chat GBT? Like if I get something and I've gotten something from you didn't pay a PayPal, I just
Yes.
eliminate it because I know I don't go on PayPal unless I know I go on PayPal for doing one thing.
Absolutely. If you know that it's fake, by all means, just delete it. This is more in the moments of uncertainty where we're not quite sure. Like if this is something like, I can't quite remember if I made a PayPal account or a Venmo account or if I signed up for Geek Squad or something like that. If you know it's a scam and you know it's fake, by all means, just get rid of it right away. Don't let that thing sit. This is more of for like the uncertain moments.
I see. Okay.
And some people have some people have a better grasp on that and identifying that stuff when it comes in of whether or not it's fake or if it's real, right? But this is just a resource that people can use to double check.
I see. Thank you.
Sure.
Hello, may I ask a question?
Go for it.
Okay, what is the technology that this program gets all this information?
It's a Yeah, it's a great question. What is the technology that this program gets all of its information was the question. So the short answer is the internet, right? The short answer is the web. So AI is using the interweb or the internet, right? Generally we would define as just the collection of data across all computers across the world that have access, right? Just a big, big, big accumulation of data that we can access through these devices. And so the piece of tech that AI tools use is simply just the web. They search the ends of the internet, every website, all the articles, pieces of, information that have been out there to find you the best results possible.
Amazing.
It's a good question. Thank you. And just guys, that actually, give me one sec. There was one other piece to this that I just wanted to mention, and then we can dive into a few more questions. That sound okay? When we're talking about AI tools, there are lots of fake ones. Okay, there are fake ones that are tricking people into using them. ChatGPT has a specific icon on it and a color and a font with it, and there are all sorts of different applications in the App Store that are trying to impersonate these tools. And I think it's really important to just understand that and to know that and to make sure that you're downloading the proper app when you're using ChatGPT, okay? Because they can be different ones. Um, in the slideshow, I put a logo here of ChatGPT, okay? See how it has like this black outline with the white inside, right? There are some where this is orange or it's blue or these words are lowercase, right? But all of that passes in the App Store as a separate app, and it still can be an AI app, but it's not the one that's made by OpenAI or the trusted company that we use. So I just wanted to put an emphasis on when you download these programs, it's so crucial that you're downloading the right one because AI is in a state of infancy, right? We're just starting with all of it, right? It's all so new, and there are so many, unfortunately, lots of people that are trying to take advantage of that fact and target people that aren't as familiar with it. And so the way they do that is they make fake versions of these apps to try and help take people's information. So I'm not trying to scare, I'm just trying to be realistic in this, right? So when you go to download these apps or when you go online, it's always important to make sure you're using the right one.
But aren't you not supposed to put any of your personal information on
You're
either chat, GPT, or even on the internet?
so generally that has to do with people's comfort level. To be quite honest, a lot of our information is already on the internet, right?
Well, for
Um,
example,
Example, so Marjorie, I could, if I wanted to look up your phone number, I could do that. That's just public information, right?
okay,
I
so
could
anything
look,
that's public is already on the internet.
correct.
Okay.
So, and putting that stuff in there, I wouldn't say is super dangerous just because like I said, it already knows it, right? So, but stuff you want to avoid when we talk about personal information is going to be like, any account information, right? Passwords, usernames, things that could give unauthorized access to accounts that we wouldn't want. But
I,
giving it just basic information about yourself, even though considered like personal, such as like your age or things like that, that type of information we like to assume that it already knows, or that it could look it up very quickly. Now,
what about a bank
check
account?
in terms of, do you
Would
want to
they know
give
how
it?
much is in a bank account?
No, absolutely
Unless I
not.
tell them the numbers.
If so, it's a good question. Chat or a good point. They have changed it to where if you try to do that, it will reject you. It will say, I can't do this. I'm not allowed to do this. I can't look at your information anymore. Or if you try to say it will basically deflect it now. It didn't used to do that, which is pretty cool, but it's learning. Um, Same thing with people identification. It is not allowed to identify individuals. If you ask it for to look up a certain person, it won't do it unless this person is like a public figure. If you ask it to look up a person in a picture, say, who is this person? It won't do it. It'll say, I can't do that to protect this person's privacy,
Mhm.
right? So there are privacy features that are being continuously added every day. Um, so I would say account information and super sensitive information avoid, but general personal information is okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Zach, this is Lewis. If I go into my laptop
Hmm.
and I type in the browser chatgpt.com and push enter, will it take me to exactly the kind of screen you were showing before?
It's a good question. I'm going to do it here for you. So you go to Google, you're on Google, right?
Okay, yeah.
All right. So everyone can see Google screen,
Yes.
just a blank Google. Okay. So you just typed in chatgpt.com. Okay. So when you do a Google search for chatgpt.com, you're going to get I imagine, Lewis, are you getting some results like this? Are you getting some like a variety of different sources that you can use?
Yes.
Right. So the one that you'll see at the top is just kind of like the sponsored. The one that says sponsored result, official Chat GPT website. Do you see that one?
Yes, I see it.
That one's the right one to use. When you click on that, it will take you to this kind of empty screen. However, if you're not signed up for it, it might take you or prompt you to sign up for it, meaning it might want you to put your email. But did that take you to a similar screen?
I didn't get that far. I'm just
Okay,
asking.
no problem, no problem.
But
So
should I give it my email and is it free?
So whether or not you give ChatGPT your email address is totally up to you. But what I'll tell you that it will be limited if you don't. It will be limited in how many inputs you can do per day. And also it will be limited in terms of the information that it can give back to you. Um, I do recommend signing up for a free account with your email address just so that when you can go and sign in, it has a record of all of your chats. Because if you don't use an email address to create even just a free account, it won't remember your conversations, which is
Okay,
one of its nicest pieces.
so I can get an account either for money or for free. That
Absolutely.
all right? And if I get an account for free, it has my email address. Would I
Correct.
therefore be getting unwanted emails from the ChatGPT people?
So yep, it's a very fair question. You will get some ads from ChatGPT. They are trying to make money at the end of the day. So yes, you will get, generally they do not blow up my email like some of the other ones do. Like I'm not getting 100 a day by any means. Like I maybe get one a day, if that. Um, but you are opting in to get email notification or emails from them when you do that. Yes. But you can have a completely free account. So it's either you can use ChatGPT in three ways. Okay. Completely anonymously, no email input, no account, but you're limited in what you can do. You can have a free account where you do put your email in, but it will still limit you in terms of just the volume and how much you can do at a time. Or you can have the full version, which is the $20 a month pro account, which will let you use it unlimited and will also activate the voice feature, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, which if we have interest, I know we're getting closer to that, but I'm happy to demonstrate it if anybody does have interest in that at some point.
And the app on the phone, if you download that, is that free?
The app itself is totally free. Yes, the app itself is completely free, and to sign up is completely free. The only time you have to put any money down is when you want to sign up for the pro account.
And
You may even
will I get emails onto my phone by having downloaded the app?
So if you sign up for a ChatGPT account, you are using your email address to sign up for the account, right? So that
Right.
means that wherever you get emails with that account, you will see, an email from ChatGPT here and there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Of course, of course. I hope that answered it.
See,
If you can get all this
Elliot,
information, why bother with all of this? If you can get all the information you need on traveling, et cetera, et cetera, why go, why why do you have to do this? Why can't you just get it on Google?
I'm sorry, Marjorie. Ellen's been waiting very patiently to ask
Oh,
a
okay, I'm
question for a
sorry. I'm
while,
sorry.
and I just want to make sure that she also gets to ask because she's had her hand up for quite a
Oh,
while.
let her go. Let her go, of course.
I actually just wanted to share because
Yeah, please.
I was reading a book for a book club that was in sections that didn't make any sense to me, and I didn't know if they were going to connect. and it was confusing me. So I went on ChatGPT and I said, I'm reading the book Trust, and it's different sections about different people. Are they ever going to connect? Is there a main plot? And we got into a conversation about the book where now I had every single question answered that I ever would want to know about the book. And I've used it for other books where I want to get a little, like you used to use Cliff Notes when you were younger. I just
Absolutely.
wanted to get some help with some of these books. I'm in too many book clubs and I can't manage it all. And it was just an excellent source. And I, one of the other gentlemen asked the question I wanted to ask about, can I get back to that chat? So I think I can. And I just
Yes.
have to go back on ChatGPT and find it.
Yep, it's on the left side. You'll see a little thing, like if you can still see my screen, you'll see a little thing that says sidebar. It's on the left, and if you click it, you'll see your conversations on the left. Now, Ellen, thank you for sharing that. That was because it actually kind of answered Marjorie's question a little bit. So, why do we do this stuff? What's the point? I totally get that question because it does seem like we can absolutely just do a Google search, right, and find out that information. But at the end of the day, what this does, in my mind, is it saves time. It saves us time and it saves us energy for things that would normally take, 20 minutes now take 2 minutes. Things on my that on a day to day that again that I can cut those time. It really it really really helps. Um, as the example that Ellen just gave, she's in multiple book clubs and doesn't really have the time to read every single page of every single book, and but she wants to stay involved in it and continue to, and be updated on what all these have, right? So she referred to a tool that could save her so much time and give her a a very, very probably good summary of what the book was, as well as its major plot, its major meanings and lessons and stuff like that. So, in that perfect example, it allowed her to continue to do what she wanted to do, saving her lots of time with the same result. Um, I would say the same thing for all sorts of other situations where instead of Googling, the five different places that I want to go on my trip, I can have an AI tool do it for me, just putting in some of the basic information that I like and some of the activities I like to do. So is it all completely necessary? No, but I think that if you have the not or the understanding or the ability to give it the right prompts, you can really, really see its value. Um, and I think that that will come the more that people use it.
So we have just a minute or two left. Zach, if you are happy to stay on, I can
Yeah,
hand over the hosting to you so that you can keep answering questions if people
sure.
have more questions to ask. I unfortunately have another noon that I
No
have
worries.
to hop off and get on that meeting as well. Um, but I want to say on behalf of Washington Hebrew and on behalf of the Besters, thank you so
Of
much
course, of
for your
course.
time and your insight. And I want to share something that I recently learned in a professional development training, which is that when you learn something new, if you don't do it within the first 48 hours of learning it, you won't keep it and you won't continue to use it. So
Mhm.
within the next day or two, try one of these searches. If you've got a book you're curious about, if you're thinking about planning a trip, if you have a grandchild who you don't know what the heck to get them for Hanukkah, but you know some of their interests, whatever it might be, please, go and give it a try and see like, oh, do I like this? Is this helpful for me? Does this save me time? Do I feel less mystified by it? Give it a go. Um, so pass the hosting over to Zach so he can keep answering your questions. And thank you so, so much, Zach.
Of course, of course. Thank you, thank you. You're absolutely right. Like repetition, it's everything with this stuff. And I can't reiterate that enough. It's will be so helpful to after this to give it a try. And again, I'm happy. Thank you again. I know you have to run. I'm happy to stay. I got nowhere to be, so I'm happy to stay if anyone has some other questions.
Can you just tell us how we can contact you when?
Of course. Actually, what it would be, maybe what I can do is I can set, because I don't have everybody's email address, but I could maybe send it to one of you guys and have, if that would be helpful.
Zach, you can send it to me and I can have it sent out with the link with the video recording.
Great, that sounds great.
Yes.
I'm happy to put many of my info. I do my day to day for just for people so you know is I know we mentioned a little bit at the beginning. I do in-home computer help as well as Zoom help. So I can do it. Thank you. Um, I do like all sorts of stuff, so I can come to your home and sit with you and do any of this stuff and practice it over and over. That's great. I can do it with you over Zoom. My full time is just going into people's homes and helping with tech.
Zach,
One
that was
one
one
last
of the things that I wanted to clarify because there are people that have questions and need your help. And
Yep.
so rather than take up the time on this, take the time away from everyone else, maybe they can sign up for private lessons, as I would call it.
Yeah.
And you are a rock star. Thank you
Of course. Did
for,
everybody enjoy it or was it too I
oh, it was
honestly,
excellent.
what
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
what
Thank you.
one last question.
please,
When
I'm here.
when
I'm
is
here.
when is your next lesson?
Oh, that's sweet. I
Steve, you
appreciate it.
have to sign up for private lessons, my darling.
I am always happy to do in person. I think Cantor said she'll send you guys my info where I can work with you guys. I am giving a similar presentation to forgive me, I don't know the name of the group. There's another group with Washington Hebrew of an
Is it the
2239.
seniors?
this yes,
Yeah.
yes. That I'm giving a similar presentation to, not quite the same, but I hope to do another one. If anyone wants to do any other presentation, me to do any other seminars, I do seminars on all sorts of other topics. The biggest one that I do a lot right now, other than AI. By the way, if anyone does have to go, it's totally okay. You're welcome to. I do computer safety and staying or internet and computer safety, right? How to like stay safe online, how to avoid phishing attempts, scams, making cleaning your computer, things like that. Um, so if any of that is interest, just texting is always the easiest way to get a hold of me. I'll make sure you guys get that number.
Great.
That would be great.
But yeah, this is I'm trying to do as many of these seminars as I can. So any feedback, positive, negative, constructive, anything, I'm trying to get better at this and do more of these. So I hope
Positive,
everybody enjoyed
positive,
it.
positive,
Oh, good,
and
good,
more
good, good, good.
positive. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Thank you guys.
Is
Any
there
other questions? Before we go, again, I'll hang out in the meeting until everybody decides to leave. It's totally fine if anyone has anything else comes up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Of course, of course.
I have another question.
Go for it.
With everything on the internet today in terms of planning a trip, books, isn't there enough on the internet that you can get all of your information that you want rather than doing AI? I'm more
Yep.
concerned with AI as it grows and becomes more involved, and
Hmm.
you need to be more educated to what it does and what it can do for you as to now.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
Absolutely. 100% true, Marjorie. 100% true.
I mean, with Ellen's book question, why doesn't she just go on synopsis for each of the books that she reads and get all the
Yep.
information there? That's what I do when I read books to get a follow up but why does she need AI for that? Maybe other things she needs it for.
So in that instance, the AI tool will give a more specific summary for her specific book club. The reason is because there may be prompts, there may be questions related that the book club has asked, or topics that they've wanted to talk about, and she can have the AI tool give her summaries that are a little bit more catered to that type of thing. Is it completely necessary? No. Like, by no means is it completely necessary. But I would say that the time that it would take for her to do that, it would be significantly cut down if it's done on AI. The other thing that I can show you if you want, which I do think would make a difference, if people here have 3 minutes, I can show you the voice feature that you get when you pay for it if you want. Does anybody want to see that?
The only thing I would suggest, Marjorie, you have so many questions. I suggest you contact Zach directly because I think he can help you personally so much more. I think a lot of other people have
Well,
questions as
doesn't
well.
everybody else have questions?
Yes, they do, but my suggestion is you have.
Then ask him. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to direct this to me. He can direct it to if anybody else is asking him questions.
And again, my suggestion is contact him directly.
Problem.
Just saying.
Sounds good.
Hello, Zach.
Hey, Franklin.
This is Franklin March. Can you tell everybody what your fee is if people want to
Yeah.
use you as a tutor?
Yeah, absolutely. So my hourly charge is 110 an hour for in person, and I charge $100 an hour for virtual appointments. So over Zoom, just like this, where I can take remote control of your computer if necessary. And there are some things that are a little bit better or work better hands-on, printers and hardware setup and stuff like that.
All right. One of your screens said info at ztech11c.org.
LLC, yeah.
Is that your email address?
I'm gonna have Cantor send you guys all of my contact. So she'll send you guys an email that has all the info to contact me.
Okay.
I don't have your guys' email addresses on file. She has all of that because it was done through Washington Hebrew. So I'll have her just send you a note. Then you guys are welcome to reach out anytime for private stuff.
So grateful that we have that option. Help.
I'm here. I'm here. Generally, are we pretty local, just the Potomac, Bethesda, Chevy Chase, DC area?
I'm in Arlington.
That works too.
DMV. How about that?
There you go. That's what I should have said. DMV. Yep, absolutely. Like I said, I'm by Macomb Street, so I'm very close.
Zach, I have a question.
Yes.
When you go to GBT, which I have, within seconds, they retrieve the information and give you suggestions.
Yep.
How is it so fast?
Yeah, how is it so fast? That's one of the most amazing features of it, right? Is just how quick it is. It is considered a supercomputer. So it has just the most high-tech processing power of any computer really system that's out there. I know that kind of sounds a little bit crazy, but another thing to remember is that the speed at which it responds to you is not as much it itself, but it has to do with your internet connection, right? So if your internet connection is good, the response, the time it takes is just going to be so fast, right? If it's a good solid connection. So it's going to be immediate, but it'll be even more immediate depending on your connection. Now, certain tasks, such as just looking up certain facts and things like that, it will do immediately. If you ask it to do something a little bit more advanced, it will take its time and it will say, here, let me actually do this. And it will say, thinking for a better answer or analyzing a little bit longer, or it'll communicate that it's taking its time to think of something. So there's a few different aspects, but one of the most loved pieces of it is just how immediate it is. Absolutely.
Well, it has been extremely helpful. And I know that my son, who's a lawyer, uses it. My daughter, who's a consultant, uses it. And then they personalize it.
Right. So, and that's another piece that I again, that I love. I love that you said that. What I don't like to do is just do. Have you guys ever heard the phrase copy pasta? You ever heard copy and paste? You ever heard that before?
Yes,
Like people refer to that as copy pasta sometimes. So, um, sometimes people will just copy and paste the suggestion that it gives. And more these days, we are able to recognize what is AI written by AI and what's not, right? That kind of comes
Yeah.
more and more as we use it, right? Like professors can kind of tell that more and more now when a student uses AI to help them write certain things, right? So what people do, which I don't support, I don't mind it in terms of looking up research, right? But I don't want it to be writing the actual documents for them. Creating outlines is a different example, right? So, like, if you wanted to have your the AI tool um, create an entire outline for a document you're writing before you get started, that would save hours on the actual document writing itself. Um, but yeah, yeah.
I have just one further question. If no one else says, I'm
Sure.
going to be starting to write uh, my memoir. Would I just go to AI and it will give me an outline to start with?
Yeah, so if you go in there and you go into Chat GPT and you say to it, um, hey, I am writing my memoir about this. I'm just getting started. I need to make an outline, and it will then prompt you with a couple of, questions to help it get you started, right? So if you tell it you're making the memoir, you give it a couple of inputs as to maybe what you're thinking about, it will create you a full outline for your document within a matter of seconds, right? That whether or not you completely go step by step by it, totally up to you, right? Doesn't matter, but it at least gets you started, right? And at
Well,
least just gives you a place to work off of.